Hi, I'm going to demonstrate how to do the one sample t-test, the matched pair t-test, and the two sample t-test in SPSS. So the first thing, and we're going to use the examples that are already in the notes. So I'm going to go to page 69 and open the file with DBH. So I'm going to open a data file, and all the files are Excel, and I want to open up the DBH file. Okay, so if you remember, this was just DBH of trees in Georgia. And I'm going to calculate a confidence interval. So I go to Analyze, Compare Means, and a one sample t-test. So Analyze, Compare Means, a one sample t-test. I put the variable of interest into the box. If I was going to do a hypothesis test, I would change this to whatever number I need. So if I was going to test to see if the mean was equal to 30 or different, then I would put 30 in there. When you're just doing a confidence interval, you don't want to do anything with that value right there. Okay, and then if I wanted, say, a 90%, I can switch that to 90% by going to Options. Then I just click OK. And then this box right down here is giving me the sample mean, the lower bound for the confidence interval, and the upper bound for the confidence interval. Okay, so that's the one sample t-test. Another test that we went over was the matched pair. And so on page 71 is the example with the two garages. So we're going to go and open up that file. And I get Excel again, and I find my file that I want. And I just always click OK with that box. Okay, so here are the data, Garage 1 and Garage 2. And these are data just from the notes. So when I want to do a matched pair, I go to Analyze, and then I go to Compare Means, and then I go to Paired Sample t-test. Alright, and then I put the first variable into the variable 1 box, and the second, the paired one, into the variable 2 box. If I wanted to change the confidence level, I can go to Options. Otherwise, I just click OK. Alright, so let's look at the output box for this. And we have some summary statistics up here. Hold on one second. Okay, so summary statistics up here. And then we have Garage 1 minus Garage 2. The mean difference was 0.613. Confidence interval, the lower bound for the difference was 0.39. Upper bound is 0.837. Our test statistic was 6.02. And a two-sided p-value was essentially 0. Okay, so that's the paired matched pair test. And then the final thing I'm going to show you is the two sample t-test. So we're going to look again at the example on page on page 81, where we looked at the PTH level for fortified and unfortified orange juice. Okay, so I'm going to open up that file. And here it is. Okay, so now I have PTH level. This is the type, either fortified or unfortified. And then I also have a grouping variable, and that's the variable I'm going to give to SPSS to do the two-sample t-test. So I have two separate groups. I have one quantitative variable divided up between two separate groups, so it's different than the matched pair. This is a two-sample t-test. So I go to compare means, and then I pick the independent samples t-test. And then my test variable is the quantitative variable. It goes up top. And then the other variable is the variable with the numbers. SPSS needs the numbers rather than the group name. So I'll generally call that variable grouping variable. And then define groups, you just give it the number. So group 1 we'll say is 1, group 2 we'll say is 2 because I've labeled them 1 and 2. Then I'm going to hit continue. Again, I can change the confidence level if I want. Now I'm going to click OK. Okay, and we're going to use just the bottom box. Equal variance is not assumed. The first box gives us some summary statistics for each group separately. And then we're going to use the equal variance not assumed, so we're going to use that bottom box there. We get the test statistic, the degrees of freedom. We get a two-sided p-value. And then the last thing we get is the confidence interval for the difference. Because our p-value is so large, our confidence interval goes from a negative to a positive number. Alright, so that was how to do a one-sample t-test or confidence interval, a matched pair t-test or confidence interval, and a two-sample t-test.